Alright guys, you should settle in. This is gonna be a long one. So yeah, really huge unboxing today guys, but I'll just get started with something simple, and so let's take a look at some of these stickers. Now SpeedCubeShop is starting a new series of full-fitted S-line stickers, and of course they looked really awesome, so I just had to get some. And we also have a few logos, which I'll take a look at in a second, but let's see the sets that I did get. I got Half Brights in Sky Blue, and this set is for the Weilong GTS. These are really nicely cut, so yeah, I can't wait to put those on. And then here we also have a set of full-fitted Thunderclap, which look equally as nice, and I'm really loving these shades. So yeah, those are it for the actual stickers. Let's see what logos I actually did get. Now with all SpeedCubeShop sets of stickers, you get a SpeedCubeShop logo, so I got 2 of those. And of course some Pokemon Go logos, which looked so awesome, so of course I had to get just a few at least. Now I did get all 3 just to be fair, but I am Team Valor, so I will be using this one. But of course these looked equally as nice, so you know, why not just get them? But yeah, that is it for the stickers and the logos. So now into the really exciting part. Alright, so I'll just go ahead and get started with the Weilong first. I've never had a colored Moyu cube before, so this will be a nice first for me. Alright, and here it is. And I am really curious to see if in fact these colored versions are better turning or performing overall. But let's see how this turns. Out of the box, it's pretty much the same as my black one was. It's light feeling, smooth, and has that iconic Moyu sandy feeling. So it's nothing really too special out of the box. It performs well for a GTS. Tensions are pretty loose. But I don't know if maybe the performance will change after any sort of setting up, but so far I'm not really feeling any differences in comparison to the black or white ones that I have. But it's still pretty cool looking, and I can't wait to see how a Force Cube with the teal one would look. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the Weilong GTS. Alright, and next up we have the Diane Megaminx. Now, I do have a stickerless one, but I got it right when it came out, so I'm not really sure if the plastics have changed since then. But if I'm gonna do a Megaminx comparison, then I figured, you know, I better have like a very accurate description of each Megaminx that are out currently. So here is the black one. It's pretty much like all Dayan puzzles. You know, out of the box, Dayan cubes aren't the greatest. They're really sandy, really dry. This one in particular is kind of bumpy and grindy sounding. Yeah, this side is really grindy and stuff. Super bumpy, but this side is actually fairly smooth and just the slightest hint of crispiness to the turning. So some setting up is definitely in line for this cube. So far it's not really that comparable to my setup Yuhu or Dayan or anything like that. But after a proper setup, I'm hoping this will get a lot better, because right now it's not too speed solvable. Tensions? Yeah, they're uneven, but some sides are fairly loose, but the corner cutting isn't that great still. Reverse is just decent. Passable. But I still think the Dayan has potential, so I'll see how this is after some setting up. Alright, and to follow up, we have a stickerless Moyu Bochuang. And so the reason I got another Bochuang was because I wanted to try out the stickerless version. You know, I heard from the Epic Cuber that his stickerless version was a lot better than the black one. And I trust his opinion, so I figured, you know, why not just try it out? Alright, and so here it is. I absolutely love Moyu's stickerless shades on here. But let's just do some turns on this thing. Wow, that, you know, honestly, from the very first turn I did, I honestly couldn't tell any difference between this and the black one. But now that I'm using it more and more, it does feel a little bit faster and just a bit smoother to me. You know, it could just be a placebo effect. But overall, I'm liking the turning more than my black one. I'm not sure if it's just the sensation of not having stickers on there, but I'm definitely finding this more preferable to my black one out of the box. Yeah, it has a really sandy feeling, but it's super smooth. And I can tell it's locking up a bit, yeah, like that. But it's pretty easy to fix, and corner cutting isn't too bad out of the box either. Reverse could use some work, but I'll see how this thing is after I set it up. But so far, I definitely have some pretty high hopes for this Bochuang, so let's just see how this turns out. Alright, my next victim, let's take a look at this Yuhu R. Now, I heard that there was some mishaps with regular Yuhus being in the Yuhu R boxes, but Cameron told me that the issue has been fixed with his stock of Yuhu R's, so I'm looking forward to this one. But let's just see how this turns. Right off the bat though, I can definitely feel that it's a lot more stable than the original Yuhu. Wow, just that very first turn I could tell it was a huge upgrade from the original Yuhu. It's a little bit sluggish, but it is super smooth. I can feel a lot of factory lube in here. Yeah, it's really, really stable. It's not super fast like the original Yuhu, but it definitely doesn't lock up nearly as much. Wow, corner cutting is really easy to do. Yeah, that corner cutting is amazing. Let's check out the reverse here. It's decent, I guess. It's not really doing much though. But yeah, I'll see how this is after some setting up. But out of the box, it's definitely super nice. It has a really sluggish feeling, but I can tell it's super stable, which I'm really loving. Because I find that, especially on Megaminx, if it's really loose feeling and it's not as stable as this Yuhu R right now, then these other faces just start turning and I just start to fumble and it just goes downhill from there. But yeah, I'm really loving this Yuhu R so far. The only problem I'm having though is that sluggishness. If it doesn't get any faster, then I can anticipate my fingers just getting tired more easily. So hopefully it does get better with some setting up. But I'm looking forward to seeing how this Megaminx turns out. Alright, and let's start to take a look at some of these KungFu cubes now. I've heard really good things about the 2x2, which doesn't seem to want to let me try it out for the time being. So this has nothing to do with me not being able to get into the cube, but I'm just going to be a rebel and go into it from the back. Alright, and here it is. Now, as I was saying before, I've heard some pretty good things about this cube. And now in Chinese, it is pronounced the YueHun, but I'm just going to call it the KungFu 2x2 because I don't want to expense that energy into pronouncing it. But here it is. So in Stickerless, I absolutely love the shades. Stickerless Moyu Bright Shades. Wow, that is super, super smooth. It's really fast, and yet it feels really stable. I'm not getting any catching though, which is definitely a prominent issue on 2x2s. The corner cutting isn't like especially good, but it does the job, and you honestly don't need that much corner cutting. I'm honestly very shocked at how good this thing is out of the box. It's a lightweight feeling cube, and it's super fast, and yet the stability isn't really an issue so far, and I can control it fairly well. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to setting this thing up and just seeing how good it is after a setup. But let's just go on to the next cube now. And you can tell I'm saving the Galaxy Megaminx for last, because I'm super excited about that one. But my second to last victim, we have here the KangFeng 4x4, and the proper pronunciation is CangFeng, but I'm not going to expense energy yet once again. So, KungFu 4x4 it is, but I've heard really nice things about this one. I know a few people really like it. So yeah, we'll just get into turning. Whoa. It has a very unique feeling, actually. But first initial impressions, it's super fast. Really crispy feeling. I can see myself having trouble controlling it in the future, though. The feeling itself is kind of hard to explain, actually. I mean, it's super smooth. It has that sandy feeling, and has a slight crispiness to it. Now, how do I describe this? You know, I would almost go as far as to say that it's a high quality feeling cheap cube, which I know sounds contradictory, but it has that kind of brittle feeling, and yet it doesn't feel cheap. It's just super fast and crispy feeling. And corner cutting doesn't seem to be an issue right now. So I'm not really sure if it's going to become my main or anything, just from first impressions. But I can definitely say it's a good cube. The only thing I'm worried about, though, is just the speed. You know, if I get nervous or anything like that, then I can tell it's going to become unstable and I won't be able to control it well. But it's definitely nice performing. So we'll just see how this is in the review. But now onto the last cube, which I am super excited for. Let's get into the Galaxy Megaminx. This thing has a super sleek box, but I'm honestly not sure how necessary this huge box is. Alright, so here is the Megaminx. Super excited for this thing. So I did go ahead and get the sculpted version because I heard it was the best one. And so far I'm definitely liking the feeling of it. It's kind of like ridges, but it keeps that size for me, which I really like just because my hands aren't that big. And so I worry about just not being able to fit my hands all around the puzzle, but just do some highly anticipated turns. Wow, it's definitely a lot better than the Dayan. Yuhu, this is definitely a lot faster, but I'm not sure if it's as stable. I'm getting just a few more catches as I did on the Yuhu R. But it's definitely super nice turning. It's really smooth. I think the bigger part of it, though, is just me getting used to it. I'm getting just a few more catches than I am on the Yuhu R, but I've gotten used to just the feeling on my original Yuhu. So I think once I practice with this thing a bit more, then my turning style will adapt to it and it'll flow a little bit better. But so far, it's super nice. Corner cutting is effortless, wow. Reverse. It's not doing too much, but despite that, it still turns really nice. And as for the actual feeling, I'm honestly not sure what to compare it to. All I can say is that it's super smooth and it glides. And I can tell it's a fast Megaminx, and yet it's super stable and it's not really overshooting in any way. Yeah, it's doing perfectly fine in that aspect. But I'm really loving these ridges. Yeah, that looks super cool too. But the problem that I do have, as I said before, is that Megaminx is already such a big puzzle, and so if they extend it even more, like they do with the Dayan ridges, you know, I have a fear of it just becoming a little bit too big. And so this is just perfect for me. It keeps that same size, and yet you get the helpful ridges along with that. So yeah, I'm super excited to set this thing up and just see how it is. So if it's not obvious enough, then I am really enjoying all these puzzles that I got today. Definitely some new mains in here, and for sure some really promising cubes. And so if you haven't already checked out SpeedCubeShop.com for all their new puzzles that they have in, which I don't know why you wouldn't have, come on guys, keep up to date. But yeah, I definitely recommend that you guys check out their site, and when you do place an order, then use my code TCCubes to get some discounts. But considering there are quite a few puzzles that I got today, let me know the order in which you'd want me to review them. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this unboxing, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.